Hi, today I'd like to talk about the capital of China. Well, let's start with this. Do you have trouble trying to pronounce renderings of Chinese in the Roman alphabet? If you do, you're not alone. It's a problem that I've talked about before, where you have an alphabet that was designed for one language being used to represent another language. It's like using an IKEA desk set to build some other item of furniture. Well, let's just be honest. With Chinese, it's kind of like using an IKEA desk set to build a go-kart. Say you've got the casters, okay, they'll be the wheels, the drawer might be the seat. How about the steering wheel? I don't know, the drawer handles? What compounds this is that there have been several different systems for Romanizing Chinese, and each one does it different ways. So, for instance, with the current Pinyin system, I'm tempted to make a joke on rack and pinion for steering, but I'm not going to do that. With the current Pinyin system, they basically took everything that seemed fairly close to some other thing that was rendered in the Roman alphabet, say in English, and when they had some sounds left over and some letters left over, they more or less matched them up in what seemed like the most suitable way possible. Now, we're probably fairly used to this kind of issue in English. After all, English is not all that well suited to the Roman alphabet. Just for example, with the letter J, we look at it, we say J, but when we see French, we know it's supposed to be je. When we look at Spanish, it's h. When we look at German, it's yeah. So we get this idea that if you see J in a language other than English, whatever it is, it couldn't possibly be J. Which brings me back to the capital of China. Now, many people have the idea that the capital of China used to be Peking and now it's Beijing. I am here to tell you that no. The capital of China has never been Peking and it has never been Beijing. Okay, we've been saying it first as Peking and then as Beijing, but those are both attempts at representing one and the same word. Beijing. Got that? Beijing. Okay, fine. You're not going to say that. If you're talking along in English, you're not going to say, so what's the latest news from Beijing? But what's the closest English sound you can make? Beijing. Beijing. Just the way it looks in the Pinyin romanization. You don't have to look at that J and say, oh, that's got to be a Zh. No, it's Beijing. That is as close as you're going to get, and it's frankly awfully close. In fact, here's a rule for you when you're looking at romanizations of Chinese. If you want to say Zh, say J. Not just with the letter J, but with ZH. That's ZH for Americans. It happens that there are two sounds that are very close to J. They're a little different in Chinese, but they're probably going to sound about the same to you. Let's look at the name of the country. I don't mean China. Obviously, when we talk about China, we say China. That's fine. If you want to look at the romanization of the Chinese word for it, well, that's Zhongguo. Got that? Zhongguo. Okay. So, you look at the way that's written, you're probably thinking, what, that looks like it says Zhongguo. Well, no. How about Zhongguo? Zhongguo. Ooh, no, baby, please, Zhongguo. Okay, sorry, fine, whatever. The ZH should just be pronounced J, just the same as the J. That's going to be your closest sound. So, if you see that name that a lot of people say Zhang or Zhang, it's actually Zhang. Z-H-A-N-G. Zhang. So, got that? Beijing, Zhongguo, Zhang. If you see something that makes you want to say Zh, say J. I'm going to be coming at you with some more tips on how to pronounce Chinese, but I think this is enough for one day. So, have a nice day, and we'll talk again soon.